Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Talk About Script podcast. This week entitled Crying Through Your Acceptance Speech. I'm joined, as always, by the answer to what would happen when you cross a dog with a badger, Charlie Carthy.
Hello.
And the one who no longer exists in America, Ali.
Hello.
This week, we're going to run through various things about the Oscars. I think between us, we've seen about 5 of the films involved, but we're going to talk about some of the technical stuff and some of the overlooked films and films we're excited to actually watch as well. So I'll just start by going through the list for best film. So we have the 10 nominations, and we have Anora, which is the favourite currently to win the Oscar. We have The Brutalist, we have Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, the film of the moment, Emilia Perez. We have Brazilian film, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, and then with the Oscars nods to both horror and musicals, we have The Substance and Wicked. So just among us to start with, hands up, who's seen more than about 2 of these? Okay, so Ali, which of these have you seen?
Sorry, like this is it's a great visual gag for an audio format. No hands were up.
Ali, which of these have you seen at the minute?
Wicked and June Part 2.
Okie dokie. And Charlie?
Dune Part 2.
Just Dune
Just
Part
Dune.
2.
Wow.
Which we haven't actually spoken about yet. And I have seen Dune 2, Wicked, and Emilia Perez. However, I do have my top man looking for Anora and The Substance currently, so that will change.
The Substance is top of my list of,
Yeah.
I
them
really
to
want
watch.
to see that.
If anyone does want to watch Substance, you can go onto Mubi and get your 7-day free trial and watch it on there. But just remember to cancel it because Mubi's really expensive and there's nothing on it. So I think first of all, I was moaning the other week to you mainly, Charlie, about the BAFTAs being really boring.
Yeah.
In their nominations for 5 best film. I think we can at least argue here that the Oscars have broadened their appeal a bit more. The Wicked is not nominated for best film at the BAFTAs, but is rightly nominated here.
Yeah. For the way that you two spoke about it, like it should be.
Yes.
It deserves its nomination.
It definitely does. And the fact the BAFTAs haven't nominated is just, I think, a little bit of a sign that award show is getting more and more behind the times.
Yeah.
In all honesty. It's not looking at vibrant new ideas. Well, I don't know. I mean, Emilia Perez is nominated there, but you can't get much more vibrant than that. But generally speaking, it's quite safe, I think, the BAFTA nominations. I mean, the film of the moment is Emilia Perez. What have people heard? Like, what has anything drawn you to go and watch it yet?
No.
A really definitive answer there. All I've heard is just people raving about like how many things it's nominated for. Yeah. Like I know nothing else about the film.
The only positives I've heard about that film is the fact that it's got nominations.
So what is it about? Like, what do you know about it?
It is definitely worth watching. So it's on Netflix. People out there want to watch it, so it's readily available. I think the reason you watch it is for its ambition and its attempt at originality. So it's basically a musical set in Mexico, following a drug lord who wants to transition from being a man to a woman.
Wow.
So there's a lot there.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, and it deals with a lot of other social issues. So it deals with the constant disappearing of young people and all the bodies that are never found in Mexican society. It also deals with the culture of violence against women in Mexican society. So it's not just all about this thing. And it is very much in the Les Mis thing of musical, in that everything is sung. It's like, you want bread. You know, it songs spring out of nowhere, and it is a little bit jarring to begin with, but I must admit, once I tuned into it, I was engaged. It kept me engaged through the whole film. I didn't feel like turning it off at any point. So it's very ambitious, it's highly original, it's very well written. You could argue the quality of the songs, but some of them are good, some of them not so good, but that's any musical.
Yeah.
It's very different to Wicked. So I would say to people not to necessarily go by whatever they may have heard. I mean, I saw a review the other day which said that it was really confusing, and I was like, it's not confusing at all. very
Is it?
straightforward what the plot is.
Yeah. This sounds like I mean, I really like the sound of that plot. Like, firstly, the fact that they're turning this, it's another musical that's, doing this well. Great, great that even just at the Academy are acknowledging.
Well, yeah,
them.
I don't know the last time we've had 2 musicals nominated for Best Film. I mean, I know Mean Girls was cruelly overlooked for Best Film last year.
Would that be your one for like every, it should be in every category.
Best Mean Girls the musical.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But yeah, but just that idea of a Mexican drug lord who wants to transition from a man to a woman, like who would have thought of that? Like,
it is an adapted screenplay.
Yeah. Okay. So somebody's
was,
written that.
It
already.
was a book which has been adapted into a musical. So again, it's an interesting take. And also, I mean, it has been nominated. I think it's somewhere between 11 and 13. 13 Oscar nominations it's got. So they might have gone a little bit crazy.
Wow.
The same as Oppenheimer.
Is that how many it got last year? I was thinking like
nominated.
Yeah, but nominated, because the last time I saw nominations that high was Return of the King.
Everything Everywhere All at Once kind of swept the board as well. I think.
That's true.
Like somewhere.
But didn't
like
it get
11.
did it get 11?
I didn't win everything, but most things. I mean, deservedly so. We'll talk about that probably next week. But it's been nominated. I mean, if you look at the key categories, so Emilia Perez is nominated in cinematography, fair. Editing, also fair. And it is nominated for sound as well, perhaps unsurprisingly. And it's been nominated for adapted screenplay. So the 4 key kind of components to that, obviously along with best film, and it's got director and it's got 2 nominations for original song.
2?
I think there's 2 films, 2 that are in there. So what that should tell you, not necessarily is that you're going to love the film, but just that the film is interesting and it's worth consideration.
Yeah.
It's going to be a love-hate. I'd love for you guys to go and watch it and actually see what you think about it. I mean, I'm not going to rush to watch it again. But
I might watch it this weekend when my friend comes to visit and we can watch it when we're drunk.
yeah. Well, you're going to have to read subtitles. Is the only thing.
Well, I can read when drunk.
Well, depends how drunk.
Hmm.
I mean, I've seen you drunk. There's drunk.
You've not seen me that drunk.
And Selena Gomez is good in it. Zoe Saldana is excellent in it. It's well performed. It's just whether you get the concept or not. I think we'll decide whether people like it or not.
Okay.
For some people, it's going to be too much. The tone is really odd. It's like musical, but deadly serious. So it's a very strange thing to have a musical about. But then is there any more strange than French peasants singing about bread? When you actually think about it, I don't know. But more of this.
I think that was more on the a lot of government issues.
It wasn't. Yeah.
But again,
it's not just about the bread. That's just the opening song. I stole a loaf of bread.
But to make a musical about that.
about
do you know what I mean?
about the stolen loaf of bread. Not even.
I think we should write that musical.
Yeah,
we
I
might
think we
make it to
should.
the Oscars.
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
If a Mexican drug lord trans story can make it to the Oscars, I think the loaf of bread can.
I just love it.
We've seen how many adaptations of the story of the guy who steals the loaf of bread and the police officer trying to catch him and everyone else in the revolution
about the bread.
Yeah, whatever happened to the loaf of bread? Did it feed somebody? Was it left out on the side and go stale?
It's always how was the bread, never who is the bread.
Ali will now be removed from the podcast. I do love the idea that someone's gone and seen Wicked and was like, "Oh, musicals are really hot this year. Let's go watch Emilia Perez," and they've got a very distinct tonal shift between the 2 films. I mean, is there anything on this list that excites people that they're really looking forward to seeing? I mean, for me, Anora is the one that I really want to see.
Yeah,
but it's also in the screenplay category, so that's not unusual for me.
Yeah, that's what you go for.
Yeah,
I don't know what's there about Anora like.
So Anora is basically a retelling of the kind of Pretty Woman story. It's about a stripper who falls in love with an oligarch, and they get married and whisked away, and the family try and break them up. But it's kind of like a rom-com.
Okay.
So I'm really looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah.
Everyone I've know who's seen it has said it's really sweet and really nice.
Okay. But like earnest.
Yeah. So I think sometimes the films that win the Oscars are the films we need to win the Oscars.
Yeah.
Like when Coda won that year, and everyone's like, "Why did Coda win?" And it was just after the pandemic, and everyone was like, "Go and watch it. Just go and watch. It's the film we need to watch after the pandemic." I think maybe that will be the one with the world in the current way it is. I mean, unless it gets beaten by The Brutalist, but I really hope.
Oh God! So I've seen the trailers for that, and the I guess the talk around it. This seems like that film that's meant for the Oscars. It's specifically designed to be nominated and to try and win.
It's 3.5 hours.
Yeah,
I mean,
what?
It seems like the Polish and this could work in its favor, like the Polish version of Once Upon a Time in America.
I do have an issue though because it's nominated for best editing, and I refuse to believe that any film which is 3.5 hours long should be nominated for best editing.
Well, if it holds your attention.
Tell that story in 2 hours, then it's nominated. Then you should nominate it for best editing.
90 minutes.
But 80 minutes of credits.
30-second TikTok.
Just put it in a montage.
30 seconds.
30
minimum
seconds
is 15. We could do that. Thank you very much.
I think we've all been shown by Pixar that you can get an entire person's life across in about 7 minutes.
And it doesn't even, 7 minutes at most.
Yeah.
Just have some floating bubbles going around of little montages of what's happened in their life and why they are the way they are.
I mean, I'd just have one scene between like two characters that, or even just one character reflecting on himself, like for 2 minutes. Like,
key to us coming in, having all watched it and going, "Oh my God, it's the most transcendent experience."
Yeah,
we will see.
Yeah,
I mean, unlikely. So
let's mark those words.
Yeah, we will see.
What else? What else is on there?
I mean, you go through. You've got the standard. So, Complete Unknown, another biopic. So, you've got Brutalist biopic, Complete Unknown biopic. I'm sure it's great. Conclave, story about white dude. I'm Still Here is an interesting one. So that's kind of your two foreign language films. So Emilia Perez and I'm Still Here. That's a very serious film because that's about, again, people going missing during time period in unrest in Brazil. Nickel Boys is an adaptation of a story based around a reform school where there was a lot of kind of abuse was done to kind of young offenders. So that's going to be a laugh riot.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you've got The Substance, which is kind of Demi Moore's resurgence in popularity.
Yeah.
And she has been nominated for Best Actress as well. It's got 4 nominations, I think, in total, The Substance.
Really?
If I'm correct. So horror is back in a big way.
Yeah. As the other woman, Margaret Qualley.
That I'm not sure.
Got any?
That I'm not
No.
sure. No?
No nominations for her.
Oh.
So, but I think it's weird because The Substance hasn't been on anyone's list all year, and yet we've had this massive resurgence ever since the Golden Globes.
Oh, I mean, I loved the look of the trailer from when we first saw it, like around the Halloween period. And
I really wanted to go see it in cinema, but like there was such a short run.
Yeah.
I couldn't go in that week.
And so if musicals have had a resurgence, so has horror, because we've had a strong year anyway. We've had stuff like Abigail, which isn't nominated, and there's Wolfman at the minute. But
Heretic.
Heretic picked up a BAFTA nomination for Hugh Grant as leading actor.
Yeah.
Which is wrong because he's not the lead actor in the film. He's the supporting actor, but never mind. But very excellent film. I've seen that. Very good. But also, this year, we've got Nosferatu has nominations, and Alien Romulus has a nomination for VFX.
Yeah, good.
So we're not ignoring the scary side of things. I mean,
No,
Longlegs could have had a nomination quite easily in a couple of categories, in my opinion, as well.
Yeah. But horror has had a resurgence, but it's like just good, simple horror.
Good. There's been good horror movies this year. They've been effective, well made. Movies.
Yeah, but simple premises, performed really well, like actually dressed in styles.
Yep.
In the way that they should be. Nosferatu was like that. Romulus was like that. The Substance seems to wear that.
Yeah, I mean, Abigail's a lot of fun, and it's got its own style as well. Like the fact there's all these horror movies, none of them feel generic. They're all doing their own thing.
Yeah.
And like Longlegs is really original in how its cinematography and how it kind of runs and stuff like that. Also, this has been the year of Kiernan Shipka as supporting actress because she's in about 8,000 films this year. So obviously they're trying to position her to finally make that breakthrough because she's in Longlegs, she's in that Christmas thing, Red One.
Oh yeah, she was in Red
She's in
One.
Twisters. She's in all these movies for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's been that. So if we move through to the more technical categories, so cinematography, we have The Brutalist. Great, probably win. June 2, which, okay. Amelia Perez. Maria, which is got one nomination just for cinematography, and it's Angelina Jolie's portrayal of Maria Callas, the opera singer. I mean, I could have thought of other movies maybe we could have put there. And Nosferatu, which probably is what should win for cinematography.
Should, yeah.
But I would expect The Brutalist.
The Brutalist seems like that kind of film that's going to have these like just beautiful, not even sweeping establishing shots, just still almost like moving photos.
Yeah. I mean, people who've seen June 2, that's all of us.
Yeah.
Is it? I mean, what do we think, cinematography-wise?
I don't really remember it that much. I just remember Florence Pugh.
I mean, she was only in it for like 2 minutes.
No, I know.
Calm down.
Well, I remember the Zendaya parts too. I remember the fight. Oh, Austin Butler was in it. I don't know. I only really went to see it because I saw the first part and I have the need to complete things. So, yeah.
I mean, it's very pretty. It's very Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah.
Color coded.
The
color grading is beautiful.
It is very beautifully colored.
All the bits on the Harkonnen planet, like with the infrared lens look, like the high contrast black and white, looks amazing. Brutalist architecture on it, looks like a Nazi planet, which, again, shot beautifully. Some of the moments really are. But yeah, not compared to the first one.
No, the first one was a lot better.
The first one, I remember those opening shots where they're on the Atreides home, and it's nice and beautiful and green and kind of swampy. It doesn't look like a beautiful day there, but it still looks like a beautiful shot. And then so many shots showing Arrakis. And yeah, really, it's doing the Villeneuve thing of establishing like huge scale machines and monsters and everything. That's really cool. That first spice crawler getting eaten, that was amazing. I didn't really get that sense from the second one. They have a huge battle like attacking one of those things, and it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's Denis Villeneuve doing Denis Villeneuve, which is always good. But I think they could have been braver here. I mean, to be honest, it's not really been a year of super pretty looking films. I mean, overlooked wise, if they were being a little bit braver, I would have gone with Monkey Man maybe, because I know you guys haven't seen it, but that's just such a chaotic film. It looks different to everything else. The color it's like Slumdog Millionaire meets Fight Club meets John Wick.
Yeah,
it looks amazing.
I so need to watch that. Is it available on anything?
It was on Sky. I don't know if it's on anything else.
It's on Now TV Cinema.
Yeah.
Okay,
so, I'll have to watch that. I mean,
you might need to find a top man to
good. Yeah. But it'll be worth. Yeah, that'll be worth. Even just buying.
I'm definitely going to buy it. It's a really good film. I've watched it about 1 million times.
Yeah, I was sold on the poster alone.
I also think The Outrun is starting to be a harshly overlooked when it comes to cinematography, and in general, it's had no nominations. At least the BAFTA gave it a couple. So, but no, I mean, Nosferatu aside, that's one that really stands out. I mean, last year obviously we had Poor Things and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't know. It's odd. Emilia Perez is in there because it looks different, and it has lots of different visual styles to it. And The Brutalist is in there obviously because it's that sort of film. But it's a bit of an uninspiring category this year. There's nothing there which jumps up and down. I mean, maybe put the Fall Guy in there, something like that. I mean, good for colouring and stuff.
Just put the Fall Guy in every year.
Well, we'll come back to Fall Guy.
Yeah, but in Nosferatu, like especially like even though it was a bit slow at the first half, like it has some beautiful shots in it.
It does. I think it should probably win. In all honesty, it's the most original in terms of its framing and kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
So moving on to cinematography, editing, the other proper category. So that is a Nora. Okay, I've not seen it, can't comment. But I guess slick script, slickly edited would kind of make sense. The Brutalist, Conclave, which I mean, again, I haven't seen it, but I baffles me why I feel like effectively a drama like that is in the best editing category when we've had all these super slick films this year which have not had any nominations, like, you know, Civil War, Monkey Man, Fall Guy.
Well, the films put themselves down for the nominations.
I know. Well, they all put forward. They just weren't nominated. Emilia Perez is in that again. I completely get that. And Wicked is in that. So I don't know. Wicked, maybe for me. From what I mean, I haven't seen Anora, but Wicked's very impressively put together. So.
Wicked's the only one I've seen on that list. And I'd say I'm quite biased against. So I shouldn't really say anything, but I will. As a person on a podcast, I really, Wicked, I think will probably. I don't know. I'd like to think that Wicked would win a lot of nominations. I just think maybe a bit more colour in the colour grading for the editing, but that's about
Well, it's not been nominated for cinematography, so
yeah,
you know.
that's part of the editing.
Yeah. Yeah. You could
probably more
both.
cinematography, yeah.
But
yeah,
you could argue both. But I think obviously those musical numbers are very slickly put together.
Mm-hmm.
So makes sense.
Sung live.
Well, there is that as well. So yeah, again, not the massively inspiring category. I was looking at stuff last year and the year before, getting quite excited about it, but I don't know, maybe I'm just getting old. Production design, Brutalist, Conclave, Gene Part 2, Wicked, Nosferatu. I mean, you may as well just bundle it in with the costume category. They've basically gone, oh, nice costumes, oh, and the set's pretty. So again, that's going to be Wicked or Nosferatu, I would imagine. Should be Wicked. It should be Wicked.
Practical sets.
I mean, what's not in there? Gladiator.
Oh.
Virtually no nominations for Gladiator 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not even
I think it's got
design.
one nomination across the Oscars.
Wow.
Considering at one point they were talking about Ridley Scott winning Best Director with that. I mean, no. But, you know, it's amazing how these films rise and fall so quickly. The whims of the Oscar jury.
Yeah. Or just how far you actually can go riding on the shoulders of your 20-year-old like predecessor.
Yeah, indeed. But it's unusual to have a film of that stature not nominated for that many things. But it's been a busy year for film. Actually, films in general have been quite good this year. Sound in particular, when we get to that. Quickly with VFX, so that's a bit more varied. So we've got Wicked, fair. Yeah. Dune 2, also fair. Better Man. I mean, I don't know how much VFX it takes to turn Robbie Williams into a monkey.
Oh, it's a whole. I
can't imagine it takes that much. He looks fairly close to a monkey anyway. And also, is it the first time we've had 2 monkey-based nominations in one category? Because Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is nominated for Best VFX.
Oh yeah, that did look good. Like that was I've only seen bits of it. Which again, great. Yeah. Good film. Good film. But the VFX have always been stand up in that now quadrilogy.
Yeah.
Looking really good.
And another nod for horror here with Alien Romulus, which is nice to see it getting a nomination because it was a nice kind of refresh.
That's one that should win because it just does a lot of like, you know, there was a lot of effects that I couldn't tell whether they were practical or digital.
Yeah, good mix.
And that's what you want from good VFX. Makes me wonder which version they submitted, like with the effects on Rook.
That's interesting, yeah, because I don't know if you know this, Ali, but Rook in Alien Romulus, the kind of CGI'd recreation of Ian Holm, they carried on working on it. So the Disney Plus release has got a better looking character in it.
Didn't know that.
So I wonder what the rules are with that. I think it has to be what's in the cinema.
Yeah?
You have to have a cinematic release in order to be nominated for an Oscar. It has to be a few cinemas. So unless they put it back in, I wonder what the rules are with that.
That'd be worth looking into.
Romulus 2.0.
Not the yeah.
Well,
Not
it's
that-
like how what they did for No Way Home. They had some issues when with like their VFX when Andrew Garfield, spoiler, came through the ring, and his arm went through like a bookshelf, and they went and re-edited
okay.
and then re-released it without telling anyone.
Okay. Interesting though, we're now getting movies with effectively like patches.
Yeah.
Downloadable patches onto movies. So, but nothing's ever
Yeah.
finished, I guess. It's also where we need a category for physical effects, which The Fall Guy would have won, because insane. And Monkey Man.
Well, they did say after the release of the Fall Guy that they would start adding a stunts.
Yeah,
category.
nothing yet.
But yeah, physical effects or special effects, things, stunts, pyro.
Yeah.
I feel like, sorry, the thought just came to my head. I feel like if they brought out that category this year, automatically it'd be The Fall Guy that wins
Well, it
that.
should have been. It should have an honorary Oscar.
But that'd
maybe
be-
they'll have one, like the category will come out next year.
And Tom Cruise will win it.
Yeah.
Well, when they need some competitors.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, just Tom Cruise winning everything.
Sorry, Cynthia Erivo did her own stunts in Wicked. She jumped.
She actually flew that broom.
She flew. She was in the air. That wasn't. There was no pulleys. Nothing. She did that all herself.
Be interesting. I mean, again, that would be a one you'd put Monkey Man
Ariana
in
Grande
for.
actually floats in a bubble.
Actually sang. It wasn't VFX. So the last of the we've got one of the penultimate of the proper categories, sound. So we have a complete unknown. Shock, film about singer nominated for sound. Dune Part 2 again. Emilia Perez, Wicked, and what's interesting, we have a nomination for The Wild Robot. So we see animation starting to creep into the main categories.
And interesting that that's going in for sound.
Yeah, that's what it's been put in for, and animation, obviously.
Yeah. But that's great. It's one of the, I guess, the overlooked parts of animation, like as an industry, is how much sound can still tell that story.
I
Probably
think
should see it. Probably should go out and see the
Wild
Wild Robot.
Yeah, it's supposed to be awesome.
Yeah.
My kids have seen it.
Looks really pretty.
Teddy said it was almost as good as Wall-E.
Oh.
So there we go. Wall-E's his favourite film. Just for context.
Good favourite.
I think the sound category is super competitive this year, though, because films that should have been nominated that weren't. Civil War. How Civil War has not got a nomination for something, sound or editing or like something like that. The sound is incredible in Civil War. I mean, I was fully surprised. Also, Twisters not nominated for sound. I think that's harsh. I know it's a big special effects blockbuster, but you've not nominated it for VFX. Come on, man. The whole thing is VFX, and they're pretty good. Twister. Are you seen Twisters, Ali?
I have seen
Yeah.
Twisters.
I mean...
Would you put it in for best VFX?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely. It felt like they were real.
Yeah, I'd put it over A Better Man.
Good.
Twisters.
I do think that Twisters should have won the VFX. Well, no, not should have won. Should have been nominated at least for VFX.
Yeah.
Because it was astounding. Like you couldn't tell that it was fake.
Yeah, the combination of sound and VFX in Twister is exceptional, and I think that's probably just been overlooked because it's a blockbuster, and that is mad. Because I mean, we were all in on that movie. It was really, really good.
If
really
you feel it,
chase it. There we go. Yeah, so Twisters and Civil War definitely. I mean, I'd argue Fall Guy potentially as well. The whole thing is Foley effects and mixed music, and now we don't have a separate sound mixing Oscar anymore. Fall Guy does quite a lot of cool things with sound. So I know June's in there and it sounds lovely, but it's been there, done that. Do you know what I mean? And you put 3 musicals in basically.
Did the first June get any sound?
It won loads of Oscars.
It won loads of sound.
Yeah. It won all the technical awards.
Yeah, because it's like they're weird alternatives for alternative methods of Foley.
Yeah. Exactly that.
I know there was one awards ceremony where they're not eligible to put down for sound because a lot of it is reused from the first film.
Original soundtrack.
That's
There's
it.
no Oscar nomination.
Yeah.
But no, the original Gene is really they made all those new Foley sounds. They didn't use stock Foley sounds.
Yeah.
There's thousands and thousands of Foley. I mean, yeah, fine, brilliant,
Yeah,
well done.
Could a lot. Yeah, I'm trying to remember now if how much of that would have been reused.
Well, if you think so, the ornithopters were what was it?
They would have been.
It's a beetle, a tent flap, and a purring cat.
Yeah,
all mixed together.
And obviously
they would have
the
reused that.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Ali. Why can't we have the Fall Guy did that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
best nomination for references to other people's
films.
Yeah,
Without being a parody.
Yeah.
Just best postmodernist.
Best postmodernism. Now that would be an Oscar worth seeing, wouldn't it? Also, can we just say Deadpool and Wolverine?
No nominations.
No nominations for
at all.
VFX.
Yeah, that's
Mad.
full of it.
Absolutely mad.
Well, I mean, constantly with Deadpool's mask.
Has there been any Marvel film that's got any nominations?
They do get nominations for
They do.
VFX quite often. They
Oh.
don't.
Yeah.
Black Panther was the one that got nominated for best film.
Best
yeah.
picture.
I don't. They don't rock the. To be honest, let's be honest. There's not that many Marvel films that are actually amazing. Guardians of the Galaxy probably should have had a screenplay nomination. Black Panther had a best film nomination. There are others.
I wanted Guardians to get one of the makeup ones and
Yeah,
designs, like
yeah.
for all the aliens and the creatures. Like, how many of them were physical?
Yeah. Because the joke is obviously that Brie Larson has more nominations than the entire of has more wins than the entire of Marvel. Who's hurt?
Yeah, they got to keep that going.
So sound is a very competitive category this year, which is nice because I need more examples to use. So the most important category, screenplay. My kind of best film category. We have Anora, again, I would expect that to win. The Brutalist, again, I would argue 3.5 hours. A Real Pain, which I've seen. It's all right. The screenplay's all right. It's quite nice. I knew it would get a nomination. I mean, it's no Lost in Translation, but it's all right. It's quite nicely written. September 5th, which is about a group of journalists at the Munich Olympics.
Okay.
Sounds quite interesting.
Yeah.
I know very little about it other than that. And The Substance has been nominated for Best Original Screenplay.
Good.
So again, another huge nod to horror there. And a recognition at the writing that went into creating that film.
Yeah,
so definitely going to be on. I think we'll probably have a podcast where we come back and go, oh, now we've gone and seen.
I have a fun fact about the writing of The Substance.
Oh, go Ali.
Let's go. The writer was supposed to was directing, I think it was Black Widow, but decided to focus their time on writing the screenplay for The Substance.
Okay.
That's the fun fact.
Interesting. I'd love to see the Substance influence on Black Widow at some point, if that ever kind of matches up again.
Yeah, but at least, hey, this film actually gets in for the Oscars.
Yeah,
gets nominated.
Now, again, I'm going to petition here. There's overlooked movies here galore. So, Challengers, no nominations.
I think that is completely unfair that they've got no nominations. The editing was beautiful. Like, you've seen it, right?
I haven't seen it yet, but I will.
There's a whole tennis scene where the ball is the camera.
Wow. Okay.
Like, that's the soundtrack.
Yeah,
Amazing. I love the soundtrack.
I've listened to the soundtrack. I mean,
it's so good.
I will fully admit my bias that anything with Trent Reznor in Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, if they've made your soundtrack, that should be nominated at least.
So not a single nomination for Challengers, and everyone thought it might win screenplay, but I mean, I presume Anora's going to win that. Also, cruelly overlooked because it's a lovely little film, Fly Me to the Moon, which is sitting on Apple TV, which is
to the moon.
Thank you, Ali. Which is really nicely written, lovely characters, really well done. Which is a story about obviously the moon landing, but people being really worried about the cameras working, so they film a fake one as well. And it's at the same, and it's about working out which feed is going out, whether it's the live feed or the feed from the studio.
Yeah.
But if you haven't seen it, it's on Apple TV. It's really, really good. It's got Channing Tatum and Scarlett Johansson in it, and they're both really good in it. And it's got Woody Harrelson in it, being Woody Harrelson. another year that would have possibly won, and it's not
Yeah.
even been nominated,
Aw.
or it's just come out at the wrong time of year. Also, again, Fall Guy. I'm sorry, maybe it should have been an adapted, but I mean, yeah, for screenplay, definitely, it's a great story over what we've got here. I don't know. The Oscars seems adverse to fun sometimes. Just in the adapted screenplay category, so based on existing properties, so you have A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Nickel Boys, and Sing Sing. So they're either books or other productions. So, but that's like cheating, isn't it? Adaptation.
Yeah, but would if you'd be putting Fall Guy in for best adapted or best adaptation, does it count enough if it's adapted from a TV series?
It's adapted from an existing property. So, for instance, the one I don't understand, and if there's anyone out there, you can text and explain this to me. Knives Out, both Knives Out movies go in the adapted screenplay category because they're based on existing characters that Rian Johnson has developed.
Depends if he's published them in any format.
What does that mean? But as far as I'm aware, they're not books or anything. So I don't actually understand why that's an adapted screenplay, but someone will know more than me.
Hopefully. It could, we could use a bit of guidance on that.
Send us a message on that one because I don't understand that one. Also, movies that have been overlooked. So Kneecap, which is heavily nominated at the BAFTAs.
That I've had in all of my news feeds non-stop.
So not nominated for Best International Film. Okay. It's in Gaelic. I mean, where's the nomination?
Yeah.
Great film, by the way. It's on Amazon Prime.
That's one that got nominated for a bunch of BAFTAs, didn't it?
Yeah, it's got like 7 or 8 nominations. I mean, I wouldn't go that crazy with it, but it should definitely have a Best International Film nomination. Whether I don't know if there's a cultural sensitivity in the States over it, but I don't see why it wouldn't be more so in the BAFTAs.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it's a great film. It's full of energy. It's got an absolutely bustling soundtrack. You could argue that should be nominated for sound or editing or whatever as well. Brilliant film. Great fun film as well. So there's that. I think the biggest overlook, and I'm not surprised it's been overlooked because very few people have seen it, is definitely Monkey Man though, because aside from the cinematography and the editing, I personally feel that film should have had a Best Director nomination and a Best Leading Actor nomination. Dev Patel's directorial debut. I don't think there's many directors who could have held that film together when you actually go and see it eventually. It's chaos, that film.
Yeah.
Absolute chaos. It's got that energy of Slumdog, but like taken to the nth degree. And I think the fact that he's held that together as his a debut actor, a debut director is incredible. And he is incredible in it. I mean, the fact it's been so overlooked, I think it's had a slight recognition at the BAFTAs. But that should have been in all the main categories for me. I'm a little bit, it's just obviously not been promoted well enough.
No,
I would suggest, which is a shame.
I don't remember it when it ran in the cinema.
I do because Ali and I went to the cinema and we.
Well, there was a discussion in the office about going to the cinema. I don't want to go home. Well, I don't want to watch Monkey Man.
So
fine, let's go watch Kung Fu Panda 4.
I remember that. It was part of that because I was like, I do not want to sit with this, with this argument. And then because I'd heard of Monkey Man, at that point, and then you came back in the next day and said, you went and saw Kung Fu Panda, and I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Why didn't you go see Monkey Man? You will love it. And then months later.
Yeah,
you watch it and you come in and
incredible.
Say, Monkey Man is amazing.
I feel we made a mistake that night.
Yeah,
we did not.
I mean, I liked Kung Fu Panda 4, but
you really enjoyed Kung Fu Panda 4.
I did,
At
but
the end
Monkey
of it,
Man's amazing.
That was really good.
Yeah, I mean, Monkey Man's a transcendent experience, though. It's definitely going to work its way into my best films list, I think, once I've seen it a few more times.
Yeah.
It's very rare that amount of energy bustles on the screen like that. It's a really unique, more so than Fall Guy even this year. It's so supercharged. It's one of those movies you come out and you're like, right, I'm going to put the whole world to rights with my fists. So anyone who hasn't seen it, it's quite hard to find actually, but it's on Sky, kicking around somewhere. Yeah. So overall, though, I think the Oscars are pretty decent in terms of the fact they've spread their net a bit wider than we've had in the past. So recognitions of different genres. People have been saying for years about musicals have started to become a big thing. We need to get some recognition. They kind of noticed it with Tick Tick Boom, and it's kind of built from there.
Yeah.
And now we've got horror in there as well.
I hope I hope these actually win some Oscars. It's one thing. It's great to be nominated, but
I think The Substance is going to win big.
That should.
I just feel the momentum is with it.
That should win a couple. Wicked should win.
Wicked, yeah.
If Wicked doesn't win at least one of the production,
it will.
Nominations, I think I will hunt down the Oscar voters and politely threaten them.
You'll rant on Twitter.
You're gonna cancel them.
Cancel culture. I'll get on my public TikTok account and be like, guys, you need to cancel the Oscars.
It'd be quite amusing if Emilia Perez wins Best Film, considering all the stuff that's currently going on in the States.
Yeah.
That'd be I wonder if, because they're still voting, so...
I would be disappointed.
We haven't seen it, though, to be fair.
Yeah.
I do think it deserves its nomination because of its ambition. It's not the best film that came out this year. That would be my personal view.
Yeah. I mean, what a support. Yeah. Ambitious and more original ideas, even if it is.
It's like we've recognised that. I get that.
Yeah. It needs some award.
It's
like
not
something to keep it on.
It's not Everything Everywhere All at Once. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, whatever could be.
Well, no.
It's also not Oppenheimer, and it's received the same amount of nominations.
Yeah, no, but then it's very different to Oppenheimer in that Oppenheimer is the standard Oscar epic. Emilia Perez is something very different, very quite challenging.
But the difference I've seen, because obviously not seeing the film, I can't have a proper opinion on it. But if we're going by the public opinion who have seen both films.
Well, Oppenheimer and Emilia Perez.
Yes.
Oppen
Perez.
Oppen Perez.
I mean, apples and atomic bombs.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, people prefer the atomic bombs over the apples.
Yeah, but then the sort of person who likes Oppenheimer might not be down for a musical set in Mexico.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I wonder if he compared Wicked to Oppenheimer, how the crowd would feel. You just need to go and see it. And we will reconvene and we will rediscuss along with a lot of other things on here, like Civil War and Monkey Man, things like that. And we could do a whole podcast on Fall Guy again. I mean, I'll be well up for that. Fall Guy 1 year on. How has it changed your life? Again, no nominations for The Outrun. Saoirse Ronan has at least got her Best Actress nomination at the BAFTAs, but she, at one point, was the favourite to win Best Actress for The Outrun and is now not even nominated. So that's a bit. Also, We Live in Time, no nominations. So I don't know if that missed the window or we're just not really into.
I think it's just one of those films that wasn't
Flo Pugh
destined to be on the Oscars list.
Yeah,
it's a nice film, but it's something that you'd see like Prime Video making and just putting with no advertisement. On their streaming service.
And of course, Kinds of Kindness, nowhere to be seen this year.
Oh, yeah.
Deservedly not seen.
Yeah. What category could that have gone under?
Most irritating second act. I'm just going to double check to make sure I haven't got any.
Best dance category.
There you go. Best Emma Stone dance.
I forgot that film even came out.
Well, there you go. I mean, again,
yeah, I think I'd repressed a lot of it.
But that was around this time last year. So
Lead hasn't picked up any nominations. I could have argued that Kate Winslet probably should have had a nomination for her depiction of war photographer Lee Miller. That's quite a well-made film. Godzilla vs Kong, no special effects nominations.
No.
Again, interesting.
Again, probably because it's just a blockbustery popcorn film. But yeah, it could be a good. But good VFX and stuff.
Gladiator 2's got very few. Blitz, which at one point was expected to be nominated for best film, no nominations. It's picked up some BAFTAs, but I didn't like it. It was rubbish. It's on Apple TV. Absolute rubbish, I thought. There you go. Sorry, Saoirse. Put it that way. Not for me, I'm afraid. Yeah. So, final thoughts, guys, and thems.
I've got a lot I need to watch. And
Yeah.
it's starting to feel like homework a bit. But The Substance, Monkey Man,
There's enough interesting stuff
Wild
here.
Robot.
There's enough interesting stuff here for it not to feel like homework.
Yeah.
So as you said, The Substance and Anora, I'm Still Here, September 5. There are enough movies in here without going to the standard Oscar movie, things like The Brutalist and Conclave and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there's some interesting stuff here that I'm actually excited to watch. I mean, The Wild Robot is one of those.
Yeah. Yeah, that
I do really want to see that.
Yes. So, any final thoughts, Ali?
I think I've said my piece. Yeah. I will throw a hissy fit if Wicked does not at least get best costume design.
Like Glinda.
I was thinking more Madame Morrible. We see Glinda in the big puffy dress that's gorgeous, and like her other costumes is all school uniformy, but Madame Morrible is the most it stands out the most for me.
I was just thinking of throwing the tantrum like Glinda,
Stunning.
You know.
Yeah, I will throw a tantrum.
Have to have a lie down. It's not gone my
As
way.
a production arts teacher, it's just held really close to my chest, and
Oh.
I take things really personally. So I will have a hissy fit, and my nan will write an angry letter.
Yeah, and I just hope some of these films which are nominated like once over pick up some of these awards. Because that's always interesting when things kind of pick things up. So yeah, but I'm quite happy over all the nominations. I think they're a fair reflection of the movies out this year. All right, no Fall Guy, and the sounds category was crazy this year in terms of what's been fighting to get into it. I don't know, we needed 3 films where the sound was based around people singing, but that's just me. Hey. Yeah, so next week I feel it will be a Michelle Yeoh special. Hey ho, Michelle Yeoh. 25th anniversary of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and we will see what else we can throw out there depending on what I can dig out of my Blu-ray collection.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's yet another opportunity to talk about Wicked.
Yeah, we'll have the 3 main movies to talk about, but then it's gonna be but there's also this one. Oh, and there's there's this.
Did I tell you about this that happened in Wicked?
Yeah,
I think it's very important knowledge.
Because
we all know it.
We've suddenly realised Michelle Yeoh has been in every film ever made,
and is amazing in everything.
Yeah,
and I mean everything, everywhere, all at once.
I know, and has been playing the older woman in films as she is in Crouching Tiger. We're just saying 25th anniversary of Crouching Tiger. So you're telling me she's been playing the older woman for 25 years? Like, what age is she now? What age was she then?
I don't know.
What is happening?
I don't know, but may this woman be forever preserved in amber.
Because she's also in Memoirs of a Geisha as the older woman. So I mean, I thought she was mature in Police Story 3. Obviously not. She must be a lot younger than. She just looked about 38 for like the last 25 years. I think that's probably where we're at. I reckon she's got to be late 60s now. So, but
let's have a quick look.
We'll just check.
Yeah.
Michelle Yeoh, the legendary Michelle Yeoh. She's
62.
She's 62. Oh my word! The woman does not look a day over 40. What is happening in this world? She's definitely got a painting in the loft somewhere. Which is aging. My words. Okay. Right, everybody. I guess we'll see you next time to have an in-depth discussion about Hey Ho, Michelle Yeoh. So it's bye from me.
Bye from me.
Bye from me.
See you next time. Bye.
Toodaloo.